Hello and welcome to the Middlesex County Cricket League podcast. My name's Dan Huff. It is the first pod of 2025. There has been cricket on. I don't know how much we want to talk about England's performance in Australia. Let's just say that it could have been better. We may come back to that at some point during the pod, though. We've got a whole host of Middlesex-related matters to keep us entertained for now. And of course, I won't be doing that on my own. I say we because Sal Ali from North London is alongside me. Sal, how are you?
Dan, it's some Saturday evening, which is obviously a bit of
It's
a
rock and roll, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm normally during sort of May to September, Saturday nights of just watching Box or YouTube footage. But yeah, we're doing the pod tonight, which is nice to see and hear. I'm well. I've had a bit of a cold last few weeks.
We have both been under the weather, haven't we?
Yeah. But you're hardcore, mate. You was back out in the football, playing football on a Monday night. It was me tucked up on the sofa trying to keep as warm as I could while you're out on the field. Probably did you get any goals or you?
Well, I thought I'd declare war on it. I'm not having this. I'll declare war on the beast. Did I get any goals? No. But it was good to get out. They're always good to keep moving. And yeah, I think I'm just about over it. But you've still got a bit of a cough and a splutter. So if we hear that on the pod, we shouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah. Apologies for that. But I'm getting back to some brownie, which I made. So it's getting my teeth. My taste for food obviously went as well for about a day or two.
Oh my days!
That's always a good sign for me when I can start eating sweet stuff again. So now I am eating sweet stuff. It knows I'm getting a lot better now. So yeah, that's a good sign.
Fantastic. Good. So although we both have been a bit under the weather of late, before Christmas, we sort of had a podcast outing, didn't we?
We did, Dan. I mean, it was a miserable day weather-wise, a horrendous day. Torrential rain and wind and cold. But myself and one of our umpires, Matty, Watton, good friend of the pod. Obviously, you two are keen League One supporters, so we all know your side's true. Matty's a Birmingham fan. I remember talking to Matty, I think, around August time. I said, when you two guys play each other, I'll come along. Why not? And then message came through around October time. I've got a ticket sorted for you, Dan. You sold me. So I thought, got to go now. So
you have been to the Citadel of the Marches, the new meadow, haven't you?
Yeah, and you kindly drove us down. It was a long day for you in the car and stuff, but had a fantastic day watching League One football. And even better because you guys won. And I was actually told whatever was support would actually come all the time now because to beat Birmingham was some achievement on the day itself. Quite a lovely day out, really good day.
Yeah, it was. I must say it was really enjoyable. I'm gonna say that because Matty will hate the phrase, but Birmingham are often known as the richest side ever to play in League One, and I can hear him shouting now as I've said that. But we had 19% possession that day, Sal. 1-3, brilliant stuff.
I must add that as well. Obviously, me being in neutral there, you wasn't able to kill on John Marquis. I said to him, I said to you, Dan, he's a journeyman striker. Stick with him. What are you going to do? Scored a winning goal, mate.
Scored 2, didn't he?
And today as well. Didn't he score today as well?
He scored, and he walked off with blood all over his face. Old school Terry Butcher. Yes, you're right. Got to keep going. Yeah. I have to say, very, fair play to Matty Watton. Many of our listeners will know Matty really well. He's sitting in the home end. Birmingham, they've only lost twice all season. They're top of the league. They're going up. And he was absolutely admirable. And of course, you'd expect nothing less, but he took it really well, and every respect to him for that. We also uncovered other things about Matty on the way home, didn't we? When we did a bit of quizzing. Do you remember that?
I mean, I kind of think I'm pretty knowledgeable about football when it comes to stats and stuff like that. But you two are on another level. It was like, I don't know, like a school kid compared to stuff you two, the knowledge you two had, Dan, the trivia questions that you two were thrown at each other. Eventually, I just gave up and fell asleep in the back of the car. But it was honestly, it was great listening because, the extremity of the question, but also the uniqueness of the question was just remarkable. And I think between the pair of you, you must have been to every sort of ground from Premier League down to even like National League South and North, I think.
I've got to a few. Yeah. I mean, and I very much like to see my team play on the ground, and that means I've been to a few National League grounds as well because we spent the season down there. But it was also like not just Matty's depth of trivia knowledge about football, but he's a bit of a quiz celebrity because I wasn't aware of this, but Matty was on a program called 15 to 1 for those who remember that back in the day, and he bossed it. He won it twice, the grand final. I mean, this is all on YouTube. I know, Sal, because I went and looked. And it's just like, and he looks really young, and it's super, super impressive. So yeah, if you ever get in need of a pub quiz member, Matty Watton is your man. He was brilliant.
Actually, we've got a school quiz. The parents organise a staff quiz, not like a school quiz on Friday. I'll get hold of him.
Get him over.
I might have to say that's your payment, Matt.
Pay his train fare. Get him in.
Pay his train fare. Yeah. I mean, it was great as well because the conversation about the tactics involved in the game as well that you two are talking about. Who would have thought it'd be some kind of tactical skullduggery taking place in a show like 15-1 than there was, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely,
As
it
Matty
was, wasn't
mentioned,
it?
exactly. No, it was fascinating. And as I said, fantastic day out. Obviously, I've been brought up on Premier League football, so to go and watch a game in Shrewsbury, Birmingham, atmosphere was great. Everyone's really, I mean, Dan, you're like a minor celebrity there. Everywhere we went, people knew you.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, look, you was quite a popular guy, mate, from what I can say. Obviously, you could do lots of work with Shrewsbury, the podcast, etc. You need a referee. So, I mean, how people can go to a game and say they need a referee.
Oh, that was particularly surreal, wasn't it? Because the referee is a member of Ascot United. So I just wandered over, and he was doing a warm up at our end, and the rest of the people around us thought it was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
That was particularly bizarre.
So all these small little niche kind of things that took place really made it. And actually, to cap it off, Dan, we met your mum and your dad, lovely people.
Oh,
and she
yeah,
made us some famous pasta that she likes to cook for her son, and she fed us really well as well. So as I said, it was a cracking day out, probably enjoyable. Hope to do it again next year.
Yep. Well, I don't think we'll do it next year unless we draw the cup. But at
Yeah,
the same time, it was a good day. Talking about football, I mean, I normally ask you whether Arsenal are going to win the league. I'm going to leave that one, Sal, because I've got a feeling that you're probably going to say no, right? Is that right?
Yeah. I think the Liverpool probably just too strong at the moment.
Looking pretty strong.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention Arsenal for. I mean, this is a cricket pod, in case anyone was wondering. But very quickly, because they're giving you an award, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty chuffed by this. So before around December time, I got an email from the club. They had this project called No More Red campaign. It's based around trying to reduce knife crime in Islington. And they wear a special shirt. I think they wore against United.
They did, yeah. I saw it, yeah.
It's a white shirt they wear. They don't wear that ever again all season. It's not for sale. But they do also hand the shirt out to people in the community who they feel made an impact within what they do in their work. I was nominated by someone in the club, which is really nice. And then I received my white No More Red shirt before the Everton game. So I was on the pitch. I was interviewed by the stadium announcer. Had a walk around the ground.
Wow.
Waved to all the fans, etc., etc. And I've got the shirt at home, which I'll probably get framed eventually at one point. In the match day program, on the big screen. So it was a really nice day, fantastic occasion. I mean, I never thought I'd get anything like that ever. To be recognised by the club I've supported all my life was quite an amazing day for me, really. So yeah, that was my little sort of pre-Christmas kind of.
And which game was that? You said
it was. I mean, the game was dead as a doormat. It was not like your Birmingham Shrewsbury game. It was against Everton, which drew 0-0. So, but still, it was a fantastic day beyond that. So yeah,
it's really brilliant. Cool. I mean, absolutely phenomenal stuff. Cool. Moving back to the cricket. Sal, we've got to start on a bit of a downer, haven't we, actually? And that is, we've had, over the course of the autumn, one club in particular has got itself into a range of problems, and that's Harrow Town. Do you want to tell us what's happened now?
I mean,
not in any great detail, but what's the ramifications of it? Yeah.
Long, short of it, obviously, Harrow Town, when the season ended, were promoted into the Premier League, and we finished second in Division 1. However, found out there was playing an eligible player, a long investigation by the league itself. And there was obviously sanctions issued, and the sanction was that they were then relegated down to Division 2, which meant Harrow St Mary's benefit from that, obviously. But they're now in the Premier League. As the season starts in May, they'll be playing Premier League cricket, and Harrow Town are now Division 2. If you want to find out the full details of what happened and the reasons, etc., and the punishment that's been dished out of dogs, I think there are some kind of stipulations to what's happened to them as well. Not just a clear cut, you're down to Division 2. There's other bits as well that have been added onto it. I thoroughly recommend you go to the league website on the league notices. It was all explained.
Yep. It's worth noticing as well that this has affected Harrow's second team, Harrow Town's second team, and Harrow Town's third team. They've also been relegated for their part in this rather unedifying process. So it's all a bit of a shame, to be brutally honest. But the details on the league website, we feel we have to mention it simply because it's clearly significant that one side's going to be playing 2 divisions lower than they thought they were going to be. So do read up on the details there. And of course, if you want to ask more questions about it, then don't ask me or Sal, because we're not the ones who made the judgment. The league, this is the league's decision, and as is their right, they dished out these punishments. On a brighter note, Sal and I have been tasked with doing something, and always worried that this is going to go chaotically wrong, and it might, which could, of course, be high quality entertainment for everyone. But hopefully, we'll be able to do 2 things this evening. We're going to make the draw for the Middlesex Cup. So that is there are 16 teams in the Middlesex Cup. They are arguably the top 16 teams in Middlesex, and it's a very simple process. 16 teams, names in a hat. We'll draw them. That's who will play each other. We're also going to make the announcement on the Middlesex T20 competition. There's no draw in terms of us doing the draw. There are 6 groups and a couple of teams have got byes, and we will announce that just once we finish the Middlesex Cup draw. So with that in mind, very simple. Sal, I've got, it's Chinese New Year this week. Sal, I'm sure you picked up Year of the Snake.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so we've had a big Chinese meal this evening here at Huff Towers, given that my wife is from the Middle Kingdom. But we've done a washing up. So I've got a huge sort of bowl that the Chinese use here, which you can see. No one else can, but you can see.
Yeah.
And there are 16 bits of paper all wrapped up in there, numbered 1 to 16. And please tell me at your end, you've got a list of teams.
I do.
Numbered 1 to 16, right?
Yep.
So
I have them here.
Good man, right. If all this goes to plan, I'm going to draw out the teams one by one, and Sal will then tell us who they are, and I'll then sort of surmise who is playing who as we go along. Right, okay. You ready, Sal?
Dan, the first team drawn out is the home side. Okay?
Absolutely. The first team drawn out is the home side, and I've only got one pot. I used to think when I was a really small kid, that when you had home and away teams, there was 2 pots. And they decided that you were in the away pot or the home pot. I don't know why I thought this till I was about 10. And I remember Shrewsbury being drawn in the 6th round of the FA Cup quarterfinals away. And I thought, oh, bloody what they're putting the away pot for? And then my dad had to tell me, no, it wasn't quite that. No, we have one pot. I am officially putting my hand in this pot.
Rusting the paper, yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want. Help me out, Sal. What word?
Very legit, yeah. Good rusting taking place.
Yes, a lot of rustling.
Mix.
I'm now looking the other way. We'll draw Ealing again. I'm sure we will. And I'll have no excuse, no reason to blame anyone but myself. Right, the first one, just so you can see it, Sal. Number 14.
Number 14 is Stanmore, who do have a good pedigree in this cup.
Yeah.
I think they've been to the final not the season gone and one before. So they will get good sides out. So they'll be a different, and also they'll be at home. So whoever plays Lidl and takes Stephanie Reingold's fantastic teas. That's one benefit.
Possibly the only plus. I think Stanmore away is not a great draw. And let's find out who it is. It is number 9. There you go, Sal. I'm always putting them up on the screen so I can see them.
North London.
Oh, no, it's not a fix. Steph, it's not a fix.
I'm available that day. I think I'm available to umpire that day. I think I'm free.
A ball that
only had my first ever visit to Stanmore unless I get a game before then. So it's made my day, Dad.
We've had one time, we've had the ultimate fix. That's you at the best tea, the best tea known to man. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Stanmore versus, I'm going to say Salmon versus North London.
Stanmore versus Salmon and eating all the tea.
That's right. So, Stanmore, North London, second tie, home team. Number 11, Legs 11.
Number 11 is Richmond. Again, past winners of the Cup. Good pedigree in this competition.
Decent track to bat on if you get drawn there at Old Deer Park. And we have number 4.
That's going to be Crouching. That's a tasty tie, that one.
Oh, I like that.
2 good Prem sides who do like the cup competition. They've got some very good young players in both sides as well. So I mentioned both sides will be very strong.
I should have mentioned at the beginning, the 1 to 16 is done alphabetically. So
yes, exactly that.
If you're Acton, you can probably work out where you might be. And if you're Twickenham, then you probably work out where you might be as well. But
Very true.
Okay, we've got number 6.
That is Finchley. Semi-finalists last season.
They were, weren't they?
Relegated, so not the best season for them. So they'll be hoping to bounce back this year.
Number 5.
And they're going to be hosting Ealing, who they played in last year's semi-final. So
revenge time.
It'll be a tricky tie, yeah. But Ealing obviously got a great record in this competition. Lost in the final last year, but won it 2 years.
This also means quite significantly Ealing won't be playing Twickenham.
There you go, Dan. Yeah, that's not been too bad for both of us so far.
Yeah. Okay, we have got number 8.
And that's going to be Hornsey, who will be at home at Tilbury Road.
Hornsey. Potential for local derbies galore.
There is indeed.
Or at least one. Number 10. Oh.
And you said it, Dan.
Yeah.
North Middlesex.
North Middlesex.
I suppose when you're playing these cup matches, you don't want to travel too much. But it's interesting how the computer comes up, because sometimes you end up playing the same side Saturday and Sunday if you've got an all-prem tie. I mean,
does happen.
Pictures regarding that, so it could well be the case of something.
Yeah, it does happen, doesn't it? We now have number 7.
And that's going to be Harrow St Mary's, who will be at home. And as we mentioned, into the Premier League this season. So they'll be excited to see who they take on.
Yeah. And they will be playing number 2.
And that is Barnes. Interesting one. Barnes managed to stay up last season, had a good run towards the end.
Both teams might be thinking their cup run, you know? There's a chance. Both teams got a chance in that one.
Exactly. You got a little chance of slipping through.
Right, we have 3 ties left. We have number 15.
Teddington.
Oh, God, I know what's coming next.
Well, you've still got Bush to come out, and you guys as well.
Oh dear. Oh well. Okay. It is number 12. Oh,
And that is Bush.
that's Shea
That's a
Blue, isn't it?
cracking. That's a real good on that one. Mouthwatering game. Bush last year's winners. Of course, we want to try to retain the cup. Teddington, we know, have a strong cup pedigree. So
that is a proper tie. That's
probably
I haven't got
tying around in my eyes.
that's a TV game. BBC are going for that one, aren't they?
Yeah. Sky, TNT, whoever.
Yeah.
They'll be on the blower now.
13.
And that is Southgate. You're at home. Is that going to be a trip for you guys, Dan?
No,
On the Sunday?
Yeah, our boys will be. And you know what? We'll probably be playing, I don't know, not Winchmore the other way on the Saturday, but I don't think they're our division. But
so you could also play Suffolk. So obviously they based
that is true.
They haven't gone down on the base of the Harrow Town.
Let's have a look. We're not playing them, Sal. It's number 1.
That's Acton. So again, I think of all the clubs in this situation here, they're the ones who really put their mind to the competition. So Hill, obviously, I don't know if people know, stood down this year, captain, 7 years in charge. That is some effort. He did a great job for him, so well done to Hill. And I'm sure he's still playing, but he won't be leading from the front as he has done in the past. But he's heavily involved in Acton, and he will remain a part of that club for many years, I reckon.
Well, you'll be relieved here.
There's 2 teams left now.
There are 2 bits of paper left.
It's either you or Bronsbury.
Okay, let's have a look. Who's going where?
Who's going to be going where?
Oh, hang on. Nearly dropped the cup. Didn't do that. Number 3.
So you're going to be travelling to Bronsbury.
Wow. Sorry, Carlos. Bronsbury.
Play Twickenham.
Let me just up. Well, here we go. Last one in. Just there we go.
All legit.
And 16.
16. Okay. So there we have. So you want to quickly read them out, shall we?
Yeah, just go through them again.
So Stanmore, North London.
We have the big tee off. Stanmore v North London. Richmond v Crouch End. Finchley v Ealing. Hornsey v North Mid. Do you want to do the final 4, Sal?
Yeah, Harrow St Mary's will take on Barnes. Teddington will be hosting the Bush. Southgate will be Acton. And Bronsbury, West Twickenham. So we've got a few sort of all Prem ties and all Deep Water ties as well. That's quite interesting as well.
Let's
just
see.
To clarify as well, teams are responsible for finding their own umpires and also must provide a scorer. So any issues regarding that, I think if you do get in touch with someone like Kia, you can help maybe find umpires. But clubs at this stage need to provide their own umpires, and obviously there has to be an umpire that's qualified to a certain level. As I already volunteered to umpire our game.
I'm going to say no one need apply to do for North London at Stanmore.
No, exactly.
The vacancy's already full. Cool.
That's been on my radar for a long time, that ground. So
you're happy as Larry is. I can tell.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. And the ties have to be played by the 22nd of June. So obviously up to clubs to work out which weekend suits them best, but they must be played by the 22nd of June. And a date for your diary, if you're planning ahead and feeling confident, the final will be at Shepherd's Bush, which is a good place to have it, on the 13th of September.
Yeah.
So we will look forward to that one. Right. Now, the next thing we've got to do is talk about T20. And I think it's always, I want to not a highlight to the season, but I always look at the T20 tournament and think that there's potentially always a really good day's cricket on there. And certainly Twickenham were lucky enough to done quite well in this 2 years ago, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So teams, look to try and give this one a good go and get into the spirit of the bash and all the rest of it. And that's going to kick off in Middlesex Go on.
You mean the bank holiday first one in May? That'd be the 5th. That'd be the 5th. Yeah, that's when the game should normally sort of take place. But obviously, weather can play a part in that. Like I remember last year, a lot of the games were rained off in that time of the year. Yeah. But yeah, so that's going to be and the format. So there are 6 groups. So Bush and Ealing have received a bye into the next stage. So there are 6 groups. One winner from those groups joins Ealing and the Bush. There'll be 8 sides remaining. We will play a one-off game with each other, leaving 4 clubs left in. And those 4 clubs will go through the finals day.
Yep. Spot on. So we've got 26 teams in the tournament, and we're going to whittle this down to 6 group winners who will go into another pot with Ealing and Shepherd's Bush to play the quarterfinals. Now, who are those groups? The first one involves Richmond, and they will host. They're going to be playing Actonians in the first game. The second game will be London Tigers, who will be playing Southampton. Obviously, the winner of those 2 games will meet, and whoever wins that will go through to the quarterfinals. The next group, Sal, have you got it in front of you, or shall I read it through?
Yeah, I've got it. I just clarify as well. I mean, the clubs who host volunteer. It's not something that.
Yeah.
I think Bob gets many sort of like clubs wanting to do so. So.
Well, no, it's the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. He has to pressure people to all of it. So ask people to host. So it's not like, oh, it's all preference here for certain clubs. And it's not an easy day to host well. So, whoever does so, well done. So
I think
yeah, the
that's an
second.
important point. It's not as if, big, powerful clubs are the ones who always get to host. That's absolutely not the narrative. It's anyone who's generous enough to do it, as you'll see by the hosts for the other 5 groups, right?
Exactly. So next week, Twickenham. So Twickenham are hosting on the green, and they'll be playing. They'll be playing Indian Gymkhana, and then the second game will be Chiswick playing Barnes.
Yep. Good. So West London focus on that one, obviously. Group 3 will be at Harrison Mary's, and they are hosting Kenton first up, and then Stanmore and Alexandra Park are going to meet in the second game there.
Yep. And then we've got, this is like a North London kind of area. So you've got Hornsey hosting, and they'll be taking on Finchley, and then you've got Winchmore who will play in Brondesbury.
Yep. The 5th group, I'm not quite sure of the order, but I know it's at Brentham, so therefore the first game will involve Brentham, and the other 3 teams are Acton, Teddington, and North London. So that's Group 5.
Yep. And the final group 4 is another North London kind of area. So you've got Southgate. Sorry, I think Enfield are hosting this one here.
That's right. Yep.
Enfield are going to be hosting, and they've got North Mid, Crouch, and the Southgate all being there as well on the day.
And it goes without saying that all of that info will be on the Middlesex County League website pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure Paul Smith will be updating that within the next week or so. So if you've forgotten what we just said there, and that's entirely understandable if you have, but Paul will be writing all that down so you can keep up to date with it whenever you want to. The saying goes for the fixtures, Sal, they're out on there. It's taken a while this time round. We didn't really have much news on this until the turn of the year, but we have got our fixtures out. Now, one thing I wanted to say straight away, and it doesn't really sort of, I don't want to start at the top here. I'm starting at the bottom. And that is about sorting your grounds. Fixtures are out a bit later than normal. And certainly we at Twickenham have got a major problem with our 5th 11 ground because Elmbridge Council, which is the council where our 5ths play, in their esteemed wisdom, have already sort of hired out the ground where our 15 play to someone else. So we are, and their line was, we weren't sure if you were coming back. We hadn't heard from you. So therefore, we've gone down a different path, which is a bit frustrating for us. And this isn't all about us, but I thought it makes sense to say that if you haven't nailed down where your 5ths or your 6ths or whoever are playing, do it and do it quickly, because there really aren't that many grounds out there. We knew that before, but with these slightly later fixtures, it may well be that you're, particularly if you're dealing with a council, that you'll have to, you'll have to move quickly to get the ground that you want. So I don't want to be too down on all this, but I thought I'd flag that up, Sal, because we're a bit worried at the moment about where our 5ths are going to play. I'm sure we'll find somewhere, but it's not easy. Not easy. Moving to the fixtures themselves, right? I mean, we don't start for another 4 months, so it's not. I don't see a great deal of point in going through them in any great detail. But I was going to just sort of ask you, were there any particular fixtures that caught your eye through the league? I mean, were there 3 from across the league where you thought, hello, that's an interesting one in week 1?
I mean, I love the fixture when they come out. Cause
I do too. I go through them all.
Yeah, you always look at who you're playing first, don't you? And who you're playing last.
And who are you playing first?
So North London, actually, very good question, Dan. We are going to be playing you guys. So you're going to
exactly,
You're coming to the Cot, and we end with Brondesbury.
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
We'll leave that one to one side. So what else has caught your eye?
So in the Prem itself, the 2 promoted sides will play each other first week. So Hampstead will be playing Harrison Road. So one of them will start, obviously, unless the weather's going to be like it was last season. One will start with a win. So they'll have points on the board within week 1, which is always good to know when you're promoted. Obviously, your ambition is to get as many points as you can, because you can, obviously. So one of those guys will start with a very good start. If you scroll down to sort of the divisions itself, that means in North London, Twickenham, the pod versus the pod. And that's one I look forward to. And actually, this one's an interesting one. Gymkhana had a great season last season, and they're going to be hosting Osterley. So it's like the Sion Lane kind of derby, I suppose you could call that one, or that area itself. That'd be an interesting game.
There will be no love lost.
Oh, exactly
that. They will be going at that one.
They will be indeed, Dan. We're not messing around there. And then also, as we go down, it'll be interesting to see how Harrowtown do season. We've just spoken about their issues from last season, and they're going to be playing Kenton in their first game. So that's one I'll be sort of looking at as well, to see how that one sort of fares out.
Yeah, because that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you could think, well, Harrowtown, they should be in the Premier League. That'll be easy. But it often don't work like that.
No.
Things happen in the winter, don't they?
Yeah. And Kenton, as you know, it's that ground we always talk about. It's small and tiny, but it's hard to work out And I actually remember last season, the game that was played there last season was a Royal Run Fest. I think nearly sort of 400 scored from both sides. So that'd be an interesting fixture. But yeah, it's Kenton's a hard game to sort of play first because it's obviously the ground can sometimes get into people's heads in some way. So that'd be interesting one to sort of follow.
Yep. Oh yeah, I hear you on that one. Yeah. That's really caught my eye, all for really different reasons. In the Prem, Crouch End v North Mid. Two sides who will be going for the top spot. They will both want to win the league, and legitimately so. They can, that we know that they've got the pedigree to do that sort of thing, and they meet in week 1. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Slightly lower down, London Tigers, great 2024, and they travel to Harrow, who also had a pretty good 2024. So I'll be interested to see how London Tigers do in the division above, and will Harrow be able to jump on and get one of those promotion slots? We won't know in week 1, but we might have some indication, because that'll be a decent contest. I know I'm going completely left field with my third one, so I've gone all the way down to Division 7.
I see that, Dan. Go for it.
Now this one, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We've got a contest between Gautam Buddha.
They're new, obviously, I take it, yeah?
It must be. Yeah,
I've
never heard of them
before.
Yeah, and Bahani, right? And I think this could be interesting for a number of reasons. One, Gautam Buddha is a brilliant name for a cricket club, and they're brand new, so no one knows much about them, really. But Bahani, now, there's a roller coaster team, and people may well not be aware of that if they don't look at Division 6 and 7 cricket in any detail. But Bahani were bottom of Division 6 in 2021, but they weren't relegated. I think that's probably because new teams came in, or there was some sort of reorganisation. But they were relegated from Division 6 the year after, and they then went down to Division 7. Which they won in 2023. They won 7 out of 12 games. Good season for them. Bounced back after relegation. So they're relegated again last year from Division 6. They won just 1 game last year. So they either go from feast to famine. They seem to be, really, really struggling, or getting promoted. So I guess the logic would be now they're back in Division 7. They won that 2 years ago. You'd think they'd bounce back again, but we will see. They're certainly going to be playing newbies. I don't know how much they will know about Gautam Buddha, but I guess we'll find out a bit more in week 1, won't we?
They will do. And also, is there a club called Elite that's joined? I can see that.
I saw that, yeah.
So there are now 6 clubs in, is that correct, Dan, in Division?
Yep.
Division 7? Yep.
That's right. So we'll see, we'll see how those guys go. And it was always quite entertaining to see how these new teams, find their way in competitive cricket.
Definitely.
Good. Okay, Sal, anything else you want to throw in just to bring the pod towards a close? Anything of note that we need to know?
I know you've talked about Fixture. I mean, we obviously, as the season sort of gets closer and closer, be more active on the pod. We had a bit of a winter break. Dan's obviously all around the country trying to see Shrewsbury win a game of football.
Desperately.
Along with coaching his kids in football and cricket and anything else they need to worry about in their lives. So, yeah, we will be hoping to sort of ramp things up as we sort of move into March. We do have some guests lined up. I know Dan's got one of his, we'll call him your childhood hero, Dan. We're not going to give any more away from that, but he's obviously one of the maestros of cricket, one of the best brains, I think, English cricket's had for a long time. We won't give you anything more apart from that, but we do that. Eugene's got into his little black book and got his details for us. So,
well, I have to say, Eugene said to me, Dan, who do you want to interview on the pod?
I know. Yeah.
And I gave him this name because I was impressed by this guy as a leader. And you said, right, okay. And just said, right, here you go. And I've seen the emails.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
This
guy's obviously very well connected. So, yeah, that'd be good. And also, we've got a couple of guys who played in the league last year as well who are willing to come on. So, we'll be getting them on before the season starts.
Yeah. We're looking at sort of, maybe once every 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see what happens in the world of cricket. Last thing, I said at the beginning, I didn't really want to mention it, but the Ashes, so women's Ashes, I've seen very little of it. And every day when I get up, I am not encouraged to see any of it at all. Have you put yourself through any of it?
They've been trounced, haven't they, unfortunately?
They've been walloped.
Yeah.
Should we just leave it at that?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just seem to switch off from, unless it's a series like the Ashes itself. I mean, there's not putting a women's game down here at all here. I just can't get into cricket during the winter unless it's something that really catches my eye. So I haven't really followed any of the cricket. I did read about the England T20 game but I'm not being happy the sub regarding concussion, etc. It sounded a bit odd when I read about that. But yeah, well, my kind of brain goes into football mode for that period of time. So yeah. We'll wait and see. I know there's been stuff around 100 being sold as well, etc. So there's lots going on still.
I'm definitely not getting interested in that. But yeah, the concussion sub was rather dubious. You got a runny nose. Let's take a batter off and bring on a gun bowler.
I did like Butler's comments about how I think he dealt with it pretty well. give me the streets for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It may, if that happened on Saturday in our league kind of cricket, there'll be some interesting discussions taking place. But it's different regulations, so it won't be the case. But yeah, definitely we'll be, as I said, more active as the season goes on. And then once it kicks into gear, we'll be back to our normal sort of once a week sort of schedule.
Absolutely, that's the plan. Good. Well, I hope you're back 100% rather than just 90%.
Yeah,
so I'm
sure
sure
you're getting there. As I said, I'm eating sweet stuff again, so that's always a good sign.
Yeah, get it inside your gov. And we'll speak again soon.
Cheers, Dan. Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.